الشاب الطالب الموهوب أنطوني بريندل.
Good afternoon. First of all, I want to thank the Holistic Institute and the Autism Challenge Center for inviting me to take part in this conference. It's an honor to speak in front of such high audience. My name is Anton. I have autism. I live in Kaliningrad, where I was born in 1996. My mother is Russian, my father is English. And both of them spoke their mother tongue to me. That's why I grew bilingual. I have autism, and I have both some very good and some very difficult, some very good traits of autism. The difficult thing, I get easily upset and don't easily calm down. The good thing is my special interests. I had them since I was little. One of them is steeples and tall buildings. When I started talking at the age of 2.5, one of my words in a When I started talking at the age of 2.5, one of my first words in both languages was steeple. When I grew older, I got interested in geography. I liked to learn about different countries and continents and about animals populating them. This is from where my passion for traveling stems. When I was 4.5, my parents took me to London to see Big Ben and St. Paul's Cathedral. It was one of the happiest memories for me and my mom and dad, and as they say. I was lucky to visit many countries, and everywhere I loved seeing cathedrals, zoos, fountains, and wildlife centers. My mom's friend, Judy Chinis, who lives in the United States, many years ago said me a lovely book of 100 most beautiful cathedrals in the world. And since I was 8 years old, by now I've seen 35 of them. There's St. Peter's in Vatican, New Church in Delft, Notre Dame de Paris, and of course in Basel in Moscow, and many others. When I started school, my teacher was surprised that I understood the difference between between the city and the country. And I was the only pupil in the class who gave a correct answer to a question: what country do we live in? Sorry. All the rest of the people said Kaliningrad, and I said in Russia. But certain things remained very difficult for me at school. From time to time, I felt very tired and overwhelmed. After primary school, I moved to individual classes. I did well in all the subjects, especially in history, Russian, English, and geography. As I grew older, my parents kept thinking about my adult future and tried to help me acquire practical skills. When I was 12, my mom suggested that I translate an English book for children that I liked very much. It was Tim and Ginger by Edward Ardizone. My mom had read it to me many times, and I enjoyed listening to it. I translated 3 sentences from a book every day, and it took me a month or so to do a translation. My parents were very pleased with my work, and my grandma, who doesn't know English, was very happy to read it in Russian. When I finished middle secondary school, I moved to high secondary in a mainstream class. It wasn't easy, but my teachers were very good, and my classmates appreciated my strong sides. Once at a lesson in geography, a teacher asked me to show the capitals of many different countries on the map of the world. And when I finished, my classmates applauded to me. In the last year at school, I developed a really big problem. I have had an obsessive-compulsive disorder for a few years by then, and it got worse and worse. Maybe it was because the load of studies in the last year was too heavy for my nervous system, and I was worrying whether I would be able to cope with it. In the end of my OCD interfered with my studies very badly, and I had to leave school. It upset me very much, and for a few years, my mother and I couldn't find a useful occupation for me. Interesting and useful occupation for me. We're still thinking how I could capitalize on things I know the best. 2.5 years ago, Ekaterina Mень offered me a job with the Autism Challenge Center. I started translating from English into Russian press releases of studies on autism spectrum disorders. First it was quite difficult, but then I got better at it. My mom, who is a translator herself, helps me to improve my skills. I can't say translation is my favorite occupation, but doing my job, I take part in an important process of promoting knowledge about autism and building infrastructure for children and adults with autism. It's good to feel a useful member of society and get a salary, which I try to save for traveling. When I was told that I could take part in a conference in the United Emirates, I was very glad because I hope I will see the tallest skyscraper in the world, Burj Khalifa. All being well, I'll see it in a couple of days. Thanks for listening, and I want to wish all the participants of the conference good luck in their very important work. Thank you.
Thank you for your intention, and many thanks to Anton's mother, Marina. Thank you very much.